Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our session on Cybersecurity Essentials Explained. I'm Ms. Supriya Dubey, your coordinator for today. I'm honored to be here representing the Wipro Center of Excellence for Cybersecurity at KIET Group of Institutions in Ghaziabad. Today, we'll explore the fundamental concepts and best practices in cybersecurity, helping you understand how to protect digital assets effectively. So, let's dive into this important topic together. Welcome to this section where we'll explore the essentials of cybersecurity. First, we'll introduce the concept of cybersecurity itself, which is all about protecting our digital assets and information. Then, we'll define what a netizen is, essentially, a responsible user of the internet who needs to be aware of security practices. Next, understanding malware is crucial, since it's one of the biggest threats we face online. We'll also look at security holes, what they are, and why they pose significant risks to our systems. It's important to emphasize the role of security patches. They're vital updates that fix vulnerabilities before cybercriminals can exploit them. Moving on, we'll clarify what viruses are and how they spread, as well as worms, which can replicate themselves and cause widespread damage. Trojan horses are another key threat. They appear harmless but hide malicious intent, so we'll demystify how they work. We'll also explore bot networks, which are networks of compromised machines controlled by cybercriminals, often used for malicious purposes. Social engineering tactics are another critical point. These are tricks hackers use to manipulate people into giving up sensitive information. All these concepts tie into the overall theme of cybersecurity awareness, which is essential for protecting ourselves in an increasingly connected world. Today, we're going to explore some of the essential aspects of cybersecurity that everyone should understand. First up is avoiding malware, which is crucial because malware can wreak havoc on your devices and data. One common type of malware is spyware, which secretly gathers your personal information without your knowledge, hence the term hidden threats. Then we have adware, which bombards your screen with unwanted ads, but it can also slow down your system and compromise privacy. Next, let's talk about keyboard loggers or keyloggers. These are particularly risky because they record everything you type, including passwords and sensitive information. Moving on, rogue software and scareware are designed to trick you into thinking your device is infected, prompting unnecessary purchases or downloads. They're a form of social engineering. Ransomware, which is increasingly prevalent, encrypts your files and demands payment to restore access. Understanding white hat SEO is also part of cybersecurity because ethical practices help improve online security and trust. We also need to be aware of current cyber threats, which are constantly evolving, and the different types of hackers, ranging from malicious cybercriminals to ethical hackers trying to protect systems. Lastly, I'll give you a quick overview of hacker tools, which hackers use to find vulnerabilities and exploit systems. All these points tie into our overall theme. Understanding these threats and tools is fundamental to protecting ourselves and our digital environments effectively. Today, we're going to explore some essential aspects of cybersecurity that are crucial for protecting ourselves online. We'll start with email security and spam, which are common threats that can compromise our personal information. Understanding spoofing is also vital, as it's a cyber threat where attackers impersonate legitimate sources to deceive us. We'll look into the tools spammers use to send unwanted messages and how SBIM, spam over instant messaging, adds another layer of risk in our digital communication. Cyberbullying is another serious concern that can have emotional impacts, so recognizing its signs is important. Online reputation attacks are increasingly common, aiming to damage our credibility or personal brand. Phishing techniques are often used to trick us into revealing sensitive data, so staying vigilant is key. Cyberstalking is a growing concern, where individuals are harassed or monitored online, often leading to real-world safety issues. Finally, we'll wrap up with some practical tips on how to secure our digital world, emphasizing the importance of awareness and proactive security measures. This overview ties into our overall goal of fostering a safer, more informed online environment for everyone. Welcome to our discussion on cybersecurity. First, Let's understand what cybersecurity really is. It's a set of practices, technologies, and processes all aimed at protecting our networks and data from unauthorized access. Think of it as the digital shield that keeps our information safe. Now, why is cybersecurity so important? In today's world, where almost everything is connected, our personal devices, organizations, even entire nations, cybersecurity acts as a vital safeguard. It helps prevent significant threats that could compromise sensitive information or disrupt essential services. As we move through this presentation, I'll walk you through different types of cyber threats, the best preventive measures we can take, and why individual vigilance is crucial. All these pieces come together to form a comprehensive approach to keeping our digital environment secure. Let's take a closer look at what it really means to be a netizen. A netizen is essentially an active internet user who participates in online communities and platforms. They're not just browsing passively, they're shaping the discourse, contributing their thoughts, and engaging with others. This active involvement makes them a vital part of the digital ecosystem. Now, in terms of cybersecurity, netizens play a crucial role. They help strengthen online safety by sharing knowledge about potential threats, reporting suspicious activities, and advocating for safer online practices. Their collective actions create a more aware and prepared community. This leads us to the idea of community resilience. When netizens actively engage and share information, they help build a stronger, more resilient online environment. Their support networks and collaborative efforts ensure that the entire community can better withstand cyber threats, making cybersecurity a shared responsibility. So, overall, recognizing the role of netizens highlights how individual actions contribute to the larger goal of a safer, more secure digital world. Let's take a closer look at understanding malware. Malware, as you might guess, refers to malicious software that is intentionally created to harm, exploit, or compromise computer systems in some way. It's essentially software with bad intentions. Now, there are several common types of malware, each with its own unique characteristics. For example, viruses can attach themselves to files and spread when you open or execute them. Worms are self-replicating and can spread across networks without user intervention. Trojans disguise themselves as legitimate software but secretly carry out malicious activities. Ransomware encrypts your files and demands payment for their release. Spyware secretly gathers information about your activities, and adware bombards you with unwanted advertisements. This variety of malware highlights how pervasive and adaptable these threats are. Malware proliferates through various channels, like email attachments, infected websites, or even through vulnerabilities in your software. Because of this, digital environments are constantly at risk. Understanding these different types and how they spread is key to developing effective defenses. It's important to recognize that malware isn't just a technical issue. It's a significant risk that can impact personal data, business operations, and overall cybersecurity. So, grasping these fundamentals helps us better protect ourselves and our digital assets. Let's talk about security holes, which are essentially vulnerabilities in our systems. These weaknesses can be exploited by attackers to gain unauthorized access, posing serious risks to our data and infrastructure. Understanding how these vulnerabilities are exploited is crucial. Attackers often manipulate these weaknesses through techniques like phishing, where they trick users into revealing sensitive information, or SQL injection, which targets databases. Buffer overflow attacks are another common method, where attackers send more data than a system can handle, causing it to behave unexpectedly. It's also important to recognize some common vulnerabilities that we often encounter. Outdated software is a big one, as it may have known security flaws that haven't been patched. Misconfigured firewalls can leave gaps in our defenses, and weak passwords are an open invitation for intruders. These vulnerabilities, if not addressed, can seriously jeopardize the integrity of our systems. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding these security holes helps us better prepare and protect our digital assets. By identifying and mitigating these weaknesses, we can significantly reduce our risk of cyber threats. Let's talk about the importance of security patches. First, what exactly are security patches? They are updates released to fix vulnerabilities in our systems and to improve overall security against new and emerging threats. Think of them as essential repairs that keep our defenses strong. Now, their critical role in cybersecurity cannot be overstated. Applying these patches is absolutely vital because they help mitigate risks associated with known vulnerabilities. Without them, attackers can exploit weaknesses and compromise our systems. Regularly updating is our best defense. Speaking of updates, how often should we apply these patches? Ideally, we do it regularly, once a month or as soon as new patches are released. This consistency ensures our systems stay protected against evolving threats and reduces the window of opportunity for attackers to exploit vulnerabilities. So, throughout this presentation, remember that timely and regular security patches are key to maintaining a secure environment. They are an essential part of a proactive cybersecurity strategy. Let's talk about viruses, specifically computer viruses. These are malicious programs designed to cause harm. They work by replicating themselves, often by inserting their code into other software or files, which makes them particularly tricky to detect and remove. Viruses spread through various mechanisms. For instance, they can be transmitted via infected email attachments, malicious downloads from untrustworthy websites, or by exploiting vulnerabilities in our systems. This is how they manage to infect multiple devices and networks quickly. To protect ourselves, there are some key preventive measures. Using reliable antivirus software is essential, and keeping it up to date ensures we have the latest defenses. Regularly updating our operating systems and applications patches security gaps that viruses might exploit. And finally, user education plays a crucial role. Being able to recognize suspicious activity, like unusual emails or unexpected pop-ups, can make all the difference. All these points tie back to our broader goal of maintaining cybersecurity awareness and resilience. By understanding how viruses operate and how they spread, we can better defend ourselves and our digital environments. Let's talk about worms and their characteristics, as well as their impact. Worms are self-replicating, meaning they can spread across networks on their own, without any user prompting. This ability allows them to multiply rapidly, greatly increasing their potential impact and reach. Because of this, worms can quickly become a significant threat to network stability. When worms infect systems, they tend to consume a lot of network resources. This can lead to bandwidth depletion, which slows down or even halts network traffic altogether. In some cases, if a worm is left unchecked, it can cause complete network outages, disrupting normal operations. Throughout history, there have been some notorious examples of worms. The Morris worm in 1988 was one of the first major internet worms, causing widespread disruption. Then, in 2000, the ILOVEYOU worm spread rapidly, infecting millions of computers worldwide and causing extensive damage. These examples highlight how powerful and disruptive worms can be if not contained. Understanding worms is essential because they exemplify the importance of robust network security measures. Their ability to spread autonomously and their potential to cause significant harm underscore why vigilance and proactive defenses are critical. Trojan horses demystified. So, when we talk about Trojan horses in cybersecurity, we're referring to a type of malware that cleverly disguises itself as legitimate software. The idea is to deceive users into installing it, thinking they're getting a safe or useful program. These are not your typical viruses. They're designed to look harmless, which makes them particularly sneaky. They often disguise themselves as helpful applications or files that you might expect to see on your system. For example, a seemingly important update or a helpful tool. This disguise technique helps them evade detection because they blend in with normal files or programs. Now, the risks associated with Trojan horses are quite serious. Once installed, they can give unauthorized individuals access to your system, leading to data theft or even damage to your system itself. This can compromise the entire digital environment, putting sensitive information and operational integrity at risk. Understanding these tactics and risks is crucial because it underscores the importance of cautious software installation and vigilant security practices. Remember, a Trojan horse might look innocent, but its potential damage can be significant. Let's explore the concept of bot networks, or botnets, and understand what makes them a significant threat in cybersecurity. First, a botnet is essentially a network of compromised devices. These can be computers, IoT devices, or other connected systems that attackers take control of without their owners knowing. Once under control, these devices can be used collectively to carry out malicious activities, making the attack much more powerful and difficult to stop. Now, how do these botnets operate? They rely on command and control servers, which act as the central hub for issuing instructions to all the infected devices. This setup allows attackers to manage and automate their cyber attacks remotely, coordinating large-scale operations like DDoS attacks or spam campaigns seamlessly. So, what can we do to defend against such threats? Effective mitigation strategies include staying vigilant with regular security updates to patch vulnerabilities, employing firewalls to filter out malicious traffic, and continuously monitoring network activity for any anomalies that might indicate a botnet infection or ongoing attack. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding how botnets function helps us appreciate the importance of layered security measures and proactive monitoring to protect our digital environments from these pervasive threats. Now, let's take a closer look at social engineering tactics. Social engineering, at its core, is about manipulating people into revealing confidential information. It relies on psychological tricks and deception to achieve its goals. These tactics can be quite convincing because they exploit human nature rather than technical vulnerabilities. Some of the most common tactics include phishing emails, where attackers send fake messages that look legitimate to lure victims into revealing sensitive data. Pretexting involves creating a fabricated story or scenario to gain trust. Baiting uses promises of something enticing, like free software or gifts, to lure victims. And tailgating is when an attacker follows an authorized person into a secure area, relying on politeness or trust. What makes these tactics particularly effective is how they tap into our emotions. Cybercriminals often exploit feelings like fear, urgency, or trust. For example, they might create a sense of panic, prompting someone to act without thinking, or pretend to be a trusted authority to gain access. Understanding these psychological manipulations is crucial because it shows us that protecting information isn't just about technical defenses. It's also about being aware of how easily our minds can be manipulated. Recognizing these tactics helps us stay alert and better defend ourselves against social engineering attacks. Let's talk about avoiding malware and staying safe online. First, safe browsing practices are crucial. This means being cautious about the links you click on and always verifying that the website is authentic before you interact with it. If something looks suspicious or unfamiliar, it's better to double-check or avoid it altogether. Next, recognizing phishing attempts is key. These are deceptive messages or emails designed to trick you into revealing sensitive information like passwords or bank details. Understanding how these scams work helps you spot them early and avoid falling victim. Finally, keeping your antivirus software up to date is essential. Regular updates ensure that your security tools can detect and prevent the latest malware threats. Staying current with updates is one of the best ways to protect yourself and maintain your overall cybersecurity hygiene. All these practices tie back to the main theme of this presentation. Being proactive and vigilant online helps us safeguard our personal and professional information from cyber threats. Let's talk about spyware, which is a hidden threat we often overlook. Spyware is a type of malware, and its main goal is to secretly gather your information without your knowledge or consent. It's like a silent observer that you're unaware of. It collects data through various sneaky methods, such as keylogging, where it records everything you type, screen capturing to see what's on your display, and monitoring your online activity, all happening in stealth mode so you don't notice it. To protect yourself from spyware, it's crucial to use strong security software that can detect and block these threats. Regular system scans are also important. They help identify any malicious software that might have slipped in. And of course, practicing cautious downloading, being careful about what you install or open, can significantly reduce your risk. Remember, understanding these threats and taking proactive steps is key to maintaining your digital security. This ties back to our overall theme, staying vigilant and informed in today's digital world. Let's take a closer look at adware and what it really means for users. So, adware is essentially a type of software that automatically delivers advertisements to your device. Often, these ads pop up unexpectedly, disrupting your experience and sometimes becoming quite intrusive with those annoying pop-ups. Now, these interruptions can be more than just a minor annoyance. They can actually slow down your system's performance and clutter your interface, making it harder to work efficiently. This can lead to frustration and distraction, which is obviously not ideal, especially when you're trying to focus. It's also important to understand that not all adware is the same. There are different types, ranging from benign versions that simply generate revenue for developers without causing serious harm, to malicious variants that can compromise your privacy and security. Malicious adware can be particularly dangerous because it might track your personal information or even lead to more serious security issues. Connecting this to our overall theme of cybersecurity, recognizing the different types of adware and understanding their implications helps us better protect ourselves and our devices. Being aware of these threats is the first step in maintaining a safe and smooth digital experience. Now let's talk about keyboard loggers, also known as keyloggers, which are considered risky software. These are malicious tools specifically designed to secretly capture keystrokes, allowing attackers to harvest sensitive data. They operate invisibly, meaning they record everything you type without your knowledge. This includes passwords, credit card numbers, personal messages, and other confidential information. The key point to remember is that they're stealthy and highly dangerous because they can gather a lot of private data without any obvious signs. To protect yourself, it's essential to use reputable antivirus software that can detect and remove such threats. Additionally, regularly examining running processes on your device can help identify suspicious activity. Staying aware of potential risks and practicing good cybersecurity habits are crucial steps in defending against keylogger attacks. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding these malicious tools emphasizes the importance of being vigilant and proactive in maintaining our digital security. Let's talk about rogue software and scareware. Rogue software refers to deceptive applications that appear legitimate but are actually designed to mislead users into believing they are essential for your system's functionality. Often, these programs pretend to be helpful tools, but in reality, they can cause more harm than good. Now, scareware takes this deception a step further by using fear tactics. It tricks users into thinking their system is at risk, prompting them to purchase fake security solutions. These threats are false, but the fear they generate can lead to impulsive decisions. The consequences of installing either rogue software or scareware can be quite severe. It can compromise your system's security, lead to financial losses, or expose your personal data to malicious actors. This is why it's so important to stay vigilant and recognize these tactics early. Remember, always verify the legitimacy of security alerts and avoid rushing into any purchases based on fear. Protecting ourselves starts with awareness and careful decision-making. Let's take a closer look at ransomware. Essentially, ransomware is a type of malicious software that encrypts a victim's data, making it inaccessible. The attackers then demand payment in exchange for the decryption keys to unlock that data. It's a serious threat because it can disrupt entire organizations and critical services. Now, if we look at recent attacks, some stand out due to their scale and impact. For example, the Colonial Pipeline attack disrupted fuel supplies across a large part of the United States, and the JBS Foods attack affected global meat supply chains. These incidents show how ransomware can target critical infrastructure and vital operations, causing widespread consequences. So, what can we do to protect ourselves? Prevention is key. Regular backups of important data are essential because they allow us to restore information without paying the ransom. Security awareness training helps employees recognize suspicious activity and avoid falling victim to phishing scams. And finally, deploying advanced threat detection solutions can help identify and stop ransomware before it causes damage. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding ransomware and implementing strong preventive measures are crucial steps in safeguarding our digital environment. Let's talk about white hat search engine optimization. Essentially, these are ethical SEO practices that focus on improving your website's visibility in a way that's honest and sustainable. White hat techniques involve following search engine guidelines, which helps ensure your site ranks well without risking penalties. Protective measures are a big part of this approach. By implementing these ethical strategies, you're not just boosting your rankings, you're also actively shielding your website from vulnerabilities. This proactive defense helps deter malicious attacks and keeps your site secure, which in turn builds trust with your users. And this idea of community impact is really important. Promoting ethical SEO contributes to a safer digital environment overall. When everyone adheres to these principles, users can engage online more confidently, knowing their interactions are protected and their data is secure. In the big picture, White Hat SEO aligns with the broader goal of creating a trustworthy and secure online space, something that benefits everyone in the digital community. Now, let's talk about some of the current cyber threats we're facing today. First, we have state-sponsored attacks. These are cyber operations carried out by nation-states that leverage significant resources and expertise. Their targets are often critical infrastructure, government agencies, or industries vital to national security. These attacks are typically aimed at espionage or information warfare, trying to steal sensitive data or destabilize systems. Next, there's organized cybercrime. These groups exploit the anonymity of the internet to carry out profitable attacks like ransomware, which locks up data until a ransom is paid, or identity theft and financial fraud. These crimes are highly coordinated and financially motivated, often involving large networks of criminals. Finally, emerging technologies bring new risks. As we innovate with the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, new vulnerabilities appear. For example, IoT devices might be hacked if not properly secured, and AI-powered attacks can adapt quickly, outpacing traditional defense mechanisms. All these threats highlight the importance of staying vigilant and evolving our cybersecurity strategies to keep pace with the changing landscape. Let's explore the different types of hackers and what motivates them. First, we have white hat hackers. These individuals are driven by ethical considerations. Their goal is to improve security systems by testing them and identifying vulnerabilities in a responsible way. Think of them as the good guys who help strengthen defenses before malicious hackers can exploit weaknesses. Next, we have black hat hackers. These are the hackers motivated by personal gain. They exploit vulnerabilities for malicious purposes, such as stealing data or causing damage. Their intentions are harmful, and their actions are illegal. Recognizing these different motivations helps us understand the broader landscape of cybersecurity threats. Finally, there are gray hat hackers. They operate in a sort of ethical gray area. Sometimes, they might break laws to find vulnerabilities, but not with malicious intent. Instead, they often aim to improve security or expose issues, even if their methods aren't always strictly legal. Understanding these distinctions is key to grasping how various actors influence cybersecurity, and it ties into our overall discussion on protecting digital assets. Today, we'll take a closer look at some of the tools hackers use, which is a key part of understanding cybersecurity threats. When we talk about common hacking tools, names like Metasploit, Wireshark, and AirCrackNG often come up. Each of these tools has a specific purpose. For example, Metasploit is widely used for exploiting vulnerabilities and testing security defenses. Wireshark is a powerful network protocol analyzer that helps hackers capture and examine data packets traveling across a network. AircrackNG is primarily used for cracking Wi-Fi passwords, which can help gain unauthorized access to wireless networks. Moving on to malicious software categories, tools like remote access Trojans or RATs are particularly dangerous. These allow hackers to take control of a victim's computer remotely, often without their knowledge. Once inside, they can steal data, install more malware, or even manipulate the system as if they were physically present. Then we have utility-based tools, which might sound benign but are equally important in a hacker's toolkit. Utilities like Nmap are used for network scanning, essentially, mapping out a network to find potential vulnerabilities. This reconnaissance step is crucial because it helps hackers identify weak points that they can exploit later. Connecting all these points to our overall theme, understanding these tools helps us see the methods hackers use and emphasizes the importance of robust security measures. Recognizing what tools are out there allows us to better defend against the techniques they employ. Now let's talk about email security and spam. First, it's important to understand that email communications are vulnerable to various security threats. For example, phishing attacks are a common risk, where malicious actors try to trick users into revealing sensitive information. Additionally, there's the risk of unauthorized data access, which can compromise confidential information. Next, let's clarify what spam actually is. Spam refers to unsolicited bulk messages that flood our inboxes. These messages may seem harmless at first, but they can actually hide serious threats like malware or phishing attempts. Plus, spam can disrupt our communication channels, making it harder to focus on important messages. To combat these issues, we need effective protection strategies. Implementing spam filters is a key step. They help automatically identify and block unwanted messages. Educating users about recognizing suspicious emails is equally vital, because awareness is our best defense. And finally, using authentication protocols like DKIM or SPF adds an extra layer of security, ensuring that emails are genuinely from trusted sources. By applying these strategies, we can significantly reduce the cybersecurity risks associated with email. This is crucial in maintaining the overall security of our digital communications, aligning with our goal of a robust cybersecurity posture. Let's talk about spoofing, which is a significant cyber threat we need to be aware of. Spoofing essentially involves impersonating a legitimate entity, such as a trusted website or a person, to deceive users. The goal here is to trick us into believing we're interacting with someone or something trustworthy, which can seriously jeopardize our security and trust in digital platforms. There are various methods of spoofing. One common technique is address spoofing, where the sender's information, like an email address, is forged to look like it's coming from a legitimate source. Another method is website spoofing, where cybercriminals create fake websites that mirror authentic ones, making it easy to fool users into revealing sensitive information. Now, the implications for security are quite serious. Spoofing can lead to data breaches, where sensitive information is stolen. It can also cause identity theft, as attackers impersonate victims to commit fraud. And of course, it can result in financial loss, all while eroding user confidence in digital platforms. Understanding spoofing and its techniques helps us recognize the importance of vigilance and security measures to protect ourselves and our organizations from these kinds of cyber threats. Now, let's take a closer look at the tools that spammers use to carry out their activities. Spammers often rely on botnets, which are networks of infected computers that they control remotely. These botnets allow them to send massive amounts of spam efficiently. They also use spoofed addresses, making it appear as though the messages are coming from legitimate sources, which increases the chances of recipients opening them. Additionally, phishing techniques are common, where attackers create fake websites or emails that look real to trick users into revealing personal information. On the other side, it's crucial to understand how we can counter these threats. Implementing spam filters is one of the most effective steps. These filters can automatically detect and block suspicious messages before they reach your inbox. Verifying email sources is also key. Never open attachments or click links from unknown or untrusted senders. Employing strong authentication measures, like two-factor authentication, adds an extra layer of security and helps prevent unauthorized access. Finally, educating users plays a vital role in combating spam. When users are aware of how to identify spam and suspicious emails, they become less susceptible to these schemes. Awareness and vigilance are our best defenses against the evolving tactics of spammers. By combining technical safeguards with user education, we can significantly reduce the harmful impact of spam on individuals and organizations alike. Let's take a closer look at SBIM, which stands for Spam over Instant Messaging. Essentially, it refers to those unwanted, unsolicited messages that we often receive through messaging platforms. Unlike traditional spam emails, SBIM is delivered directly to us through apps like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, making it more immediate and sometimes more intrusive. Because SBIM bypasses email systems and comes straight into our chats, it can be harder to spot and block. That's why it's important to be proactive. I recommend using the privacy settings available on these platforms. Adjust them so only trusted contacts can message you. Also, avoid sharing personal information in chats where you don't fully trust the sender. And if you do receive SBIM, don't hesitate to use the blocking features. It's a simple but effective way to protect yourself. Overall, understanding how SBIM works and taking these precautions can significantly reduce the chances of falling victim to these unwanted messages, helping us maintain a safer and more secure messaging environment. Cyberbullying, as we've discussed, is a form of online harassment that targets individuals through digital platforms. It's more than just mean comments. It can involve threats, spreading rumors, or even sharing private information without consent. The key point here is that it inflicts real emotional distress on victims, which can be incredibly damaging. The psychological impact of cyberbullying can be severe. Victims often experience heightened anxiety, feelings of depression, and a significant drop in self-esteem. These effects don't just go away quickly. They can have long-term consequences on their mental health and overall well-being. That's why prevention is so crucial. Effective strategies involve educating everyone about respectful online behavior, setting up easy and accessible ways to report abuse, and fostering empathy. Creating a supportive online environment where kindness is the norm helps reduce the chances of cyberbullying happening in the first place. Connecting this to the overall theme, it's clear that understanding and addressing cyberbullying is vital for creating safer digital spaces for everyone. Now, let's talk about online reputation attacks. These are deliberate actions aimed at damaging the digital identity of an individual or organization. They can take many forms, from spreading false information to posting damaging reviews or comments online. The impact of such attacks can be quite severe. It can lead to significant financial losses, harm to the organization's reputation, and a decrease in trust from potential clients or partners. So, what can we do to safeguard ourselves? Proactive measures are key. This includes actively monitoring your online presence to catch any negative content early. Cultivating positive content about your brand or individual profile helps build a stronger, more resilient reputation. And of course, having clear crisis response strategies in place ensures you're prepared to address any attacks swiftly and effectively. All of these steps are essential parts of maintaining a strong, trustworthy digital presence in today's interconnected world. Let's talk about phishing techniques. Phishing, as many of you know, is a type of cyber attack that tricks individuals into revealing sensitive information. This is often done through deceptive communications that appear legitimate. The key idea here is that attackers are disguising themselves as trustworthy entities to lure victims into sharing passwords, credit card numbers, or other private data. Now, when we look at the different types of phishing, the most common ones are email phishing, where attackers send convincing emails that seem to come from legitimate sources. Then there's SMS phishing, also known as smishing, which involves deceptive messages sent via text. Lastly, we have voice phishing, or vishing, where the attacker might call pretending to be from a bank or a trusted organization to extract information. Detecting phishing isn't always easy, but there are some telltale signs. For example, suspicious links or unexpected messages should raise red flags. On the prevention side, educating users is crucial. Helping everyone recognize the signs of a phishing attempt can make a big difference in keeping our information safe. So, in the context of our overall cybersecurity discussion, understanding these techniques and how to spot them is essential. Being aware of the different forms phishing can take helps us stay a step ahead and protect ourselves and our organizations from falling victim. Cyberstalking is an increasingly concerning issue in our digital age. It involves persistent online harassment aimed at individuals, often using various digital platforms to create fear and intimidation. It's important to understand that this isn't just harmless trolling. It can have serious emotional and psychological impacts. Legally, victims of cyberstalking have options. They can pursue legal actions under anti-stalking laws, which are designed to protect privacy and ensure safety. These laws help strike a balance between individual privacy rights and the need to maintain public safety. To protect oneself, there are several strategies to consider. Document every incident carefully, as this can be useful evidence if legal action becomes necessary. Enhancing privacy settings on social media and other online accounts is also crucial. And finally, don't hesitate to seek support from law enforcement or advocacy organizations. They are there to help you navigate these situations and ensure your safety. Understanding and addressing cyberstalking is vital as part of our overall approach to online safety and responsible digital behavior. To conclude, securing the digital world truly depends on our collective responsibility. Strengthening cybersecurity isn't just about individual efforts. It requires a united approach where everyone plays a part, from individuals to communities. By working together, we can create a much stronger defense against cyber threats. Awareness and education are also key. Continuing to learn about the latest cyber threats keeps us vigilant. When we understand the risks, we're better equipped to spot vulnerabilities and take appropriate action to protect ourselves and others. Finally, proactive measures are essential. Implementing security protocols before issues arise and fostering collaboration among organizations can significantly reduce risks. It's about being proactive rather than reactive and recognizing that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility. Remember, the overall theme is that safeguarding our digital environment is a collective effort. It's up to each of us to stay informed, work together, and stay proactive to keep our digital world safe.